Hi guys, Ali Taylor here, and today I'm going to show you how to stop coming over the top in your golf swing. Right then guys, so over the top, it's a term that's bandied around hugely, particularly by guys who hit slices, big slices. I often got told by golfers, they know they're swinging over the top. Very often they're not actually doing. But when we look on video camera, it's very, very easy to see the way the club moves, and it's very easy to analyze what is over the top. And I'm going to show you in this video those two key reasons why you might be swinging over the top, but most importantly, how you're going to fix those. Right then, so what is over the top? So when we look at a golfer's swing from down the line, what we tend to see is in an ideal golf swing, we would look that the club gets to the top and the club works down inside the golf ball, would get back to the golf ball and then travel back inside. But when it's over the top, we see various movements to the top, but the first movement is the club goes that way, the club gets outside the line of the ball and then swings very much to the left. It can create pulls, it can create slices. Slice is the key one, and this is what we see a lot of golfers who slice the ball tend to do. But what we're going to cover now is we're going to cover those two areas that are the key to why you swing over the top, and most importantly, how we're going to correct those. Right then guys, so those two key areas that create that over the top movement. The first point is something that I think comes from a misunderstanding with a lot of golfers as to what they're trying to do in their backswing. So once they get over the golf ball, the first thing a lot of golfers try and do is to try and get that club face rotating on the way back, and halfway back you'll see the club face is a little bit open, face looking too much over there, and then as they get to the top of the backswing, we'll see a very cupped wrist, club face wide open, and we almost know there that the ball's going to go to the right. So the way golfers try and compensate for that is they'll throw the club out that way, swing across to the left, and that'll get the ball setting off left and shaping out to the right. So it can be a little bit functional, but key thing to eradicate that initial thing is actually at the start of the backswing, to rather than allow that club face to kind of fan open that way, is that as you start moving the club away, try and get a feel that the club face stays more looking down at the golf ball. So when you go from face on, instead of seeing the club working that way, and we can see a lot of rotation of the forearm and the hands, we're going to keep that club face feel like it's looking more down towards the ground. Actually halfway back, the club face will be more like your spine angle, and as you swing to the top, you'll see that club face is more similar to the forearm. That's in a much stronger position, and then it's much easier for the body then to swing down this way and deliver the club in. But that first movement of opening that club face up with too much rotation is that first movement I see that creates that over the top movement. Right, so that moves us into that second key area, and it's very much the way the body works at the start of the downswing. So as we saw from this angle, we get to the top and that first movement tends to be this way, and the club working across our bodies. So it's easier to actually see face on. So what we would see from here is we swing to the top, and that first movement tends to be very upper body orientated, not a lot of lower body. The club gets very, very steep and then swings across. So actually what we're looking to do to start that downswing correctly is to initiate the downswing with our lower body, and we're actually looking, rather than getting some side bend that way, we're looking to get side bend this way. We'll see from down the line, most people will side bend this way. We can see where that club works, whereas if we side bend away from the target, the club drops down and we can actually swing from the inside. So what we want to feel is we're going to presume now that you're doing that first stage really, really well, but you're going to swing to the top of your backswing And that first movement is going to be with the lower body towards the target without letting the arms move. And then as that lower body drives, we'll see that little bit of side bend. And as that drops down, as I shuffle around, you can see where that club is, a very, very different position. And then from there, you can keep turning and then release the hands and arms through the golf ball. So I did a video probably about a week ago where I talked about how the shoulders turn in the golf swing, and particularly in the downswing, and I spoke about how we get that side bend. And that's a really key movement. Again, to just run through that very quickly, it's from there, we bend that way, and then if we get here and bend, you see how the hips drive, the club drops down on the inside, and then it's very, very easy to swing the club from the inside. You might, with driver, because of ball position, still see an out to win swing path for a fade, but you certainly, if you video in your swing, which is going on a lot at the moment in lockdown, instead of seeing that first movement being here, very difficult to hit good shots from that position. If you can get that sequence correct in the downswing, that club drops down, as you unwind, you can fire into the golf ball and hit some really, really top class shots. Right then guys, so another video from my lockdown series there. So like I said, two key areas that I see with golfers. One is that initial thing about that club face just getting open too quickly in the backswing. At the top of the backswing, the club face being wide open and just really being unable to square the club face up by just rotating the club and actually trying to feel like you're almost squaring it up by doing it with the path. The club gets thrown out in front of you. It's very, very difficult to sequence your body correctly. And most guys that you see hit big slices. You will see the odd golfer who somehow will square it up with his hands and will hit a big pull every so often. But I think that can be equally destructive. Kind of if you know you're hitting a fade or a slice, you can generally aim to allow for it. If you then get that pull, you very often feel that your best struck shot is actually the one that you still lose because it just goes, for a right-handed golfer, way left. And it creates a situation where you've got nowhere to aim. So that first thing is work on controlling the club face in the backswing. And that second stage was, do we sequence the downswing correctly? You know, do we start with that lower body moving towards the target, getting that little bit of side bend correctly, which drops the club on the inside, kind of leaves the club behind us a little bit, and that way we can catch up, release the club, deliver the club from the inside, and most of all, stop swinging over the top. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like and share it, comment below, and I'll get back to as many people as I can. As ever, if you're watching my videos and you're enjoying the content and you don't currently subscribe, just click the button, ring the notification bell. Whenever I drop a new video, then you'll find out when it's there. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.